The American dream has shifted over the years. Baby Boomer and Gen X's dream was to own a house and have a family. Gen Z's new American dream is not to conform to what everyone tells you the American dream is. People after 2020 have been able to show pride in their identity. Ever since I was little, my parents have pushed me into becoming a collegiate athlete. They have brought me to every tournament, every training session, and just anything they could do to make me better, they've done. I'm not trying to say that they're bad parents at all, although their dream for me is to become the star athlete, and I'm here to say that my dream is something different. My dream is to be a lawyer like my dad. Ever since I was little, I have always wanted to do that. I can remember going to his job and just being amazed. He is a sports lawyer, so sometimes for work, he just goes to Orlando Magic games or Orlando City games and just talks to clients. It sounds awesome, and that is what I want to do. The moment of realization came for me during the pandemic. I saw some of my closest friends and family stand up for what they believed in, and that was Black Lives Matter movement. Though this doesn't sound like it connects, it does. When people stood up for black rights, they were fighting against what everyone thought was right. They did not conform to the norm of life. My American dream is to not follow what my peers do. I want to stand up for what I believe in, whether that is not doing a job my parents have wanted me to do, or standing up for black rights. Let's speak to my friends and see their story. Parents, dream for you, and what do you actually want to do?
My parents want me to play collegiate sports and be successful in college sports, but I don't really want to play sports in college. I'd rather have like a financially stable job when I'm older and go to school for academics.
Braden and I's story are very, very similar. Both of our parents want us to play sports in college. Braden has a dream and he will strive for it. Let's watch another video. Parents, American dream for you, and what do you actually want to do when you're older?
My parents' American dream for me is to go to a really good college and then have like a nice big family. But that's not my American dream. I want to go to just like an in-state like regular school and then like wait to have a family and only have like one kid.
Thank you. Luca's dream is a bit different from Braden and I's. Luca's parents expect him to be this insane student, when in reality, he is still a great student, but he will not be the next Einstein. He does not want to be what his parents want him to be. He wants to live his life the way he imagined. He will strive for his dream as well. Let's watch my family's interviews.
I want to be a CFO for a sports team.
What is your American dream?
My American dream, I guess, I want to have a nice house, live on a lake, hopefully have like a boat or something, and then just, I don't know, be happy.
What does being an American mean to you?
Having freedoms and just having like, you know, the ability to do what you want and just having, you know, opportunities that a lot of other people don't.
My brother showed his meaning of the American dream and what being an American means to him. What did you want to do when you grew up?
I'm not sure that I had a specific job in mind, but I knew that I wanted to work and I wanted to lead people and make a difference in an organization.
What is your American dream?
My American dream? I think the classic American dream is to do better than your parents, like to achieve a higher level of success, however you define that, than your parents, and then that you hope that your children will find more success than you do. So I think that's the American dream.
What does being an American mean to you?
What is American? I think it's a responsibility to protect freedoms and to try to make our country a better place and to help everybody succeed together.
In the play Death of a Salesman, Biff Loman stood up for what he believed in. During the play, he and his whole family were delusional and lived in denial. His whole life, he was told that he would be a professional football player and that he was the best and he would never have to worry about school because that's for losers and all this nonsense. He couldn't keep a job after high school and he thought that he was doing something wrong. But then he came to the realization that he just isn't all that. He realized that he is in the wrong profession. He was a strong person that needed to move out west to work with his hands. He took a stand for what he believed in and realized that he cannot be in this busy city and be successful. That is his American dream story. Now let's talk about the short story, Battle Royale. In the short story, Battle Royale, the protagonist is the perfect example of what isn't currently the American dream. he never actually stands up for what he believed in during the main event. Though later in life, he did stand up to the big shots, but during the story, the main character never stood up for what he believed in. This story was set in the 1940s, so it was in time that segregation was very high. He was a high school scholar that was fighting for a chance to get a scholarship for college. He was the valedictorian of his school, and after he gave a speech during graduation, he got invited to this party with some of the most impactful people of the city, called the Big Shots. When the main character walked into the party, he came in with the expectation of giving his speech and hopefully getting that scholarship, though it was completely and utterly different from what he expected. It was more like a contest between other African American males to prove which one was the best. They went through uncomfortable and cruel things during that afternoon. For example, watching a stripper, boxing with a blindfold, and also crawling around an electric rug with fake coins on it. The protagonist's grandfather's dying wish was for him to stand up and not take all this disrespect from the Big Shots. Although, during the story, he just stays quiet and does not speak out of line. All that he could think of during these odd and cruel games was giving that speech. He did not care about anything else rather than giving that speech. It is ridiculous that he never stood up for what he believed. In conclusion, follow what you actually want to do and do not let society conform you into telling you what your actual American dream is. Do what you want and be yourself. Thank you for listening. That was my American Dream project.